Noxious Vetiver is the brand new Arc Precision Frame SMG. Its biggest competition in the energy slot is Shayura's Wrath, which is a stat monster, so how does Noxious hold up against it? Not very well. Statistically, Shayura's is way better in every single stat, and the one thing that Noxious has going for it is the fact that it has Accurized instead of High Cal, so you know, it gets an extra 5 range whenever you get the right magazine. That's about the only thing good I can say about it statistically with the barrels, mags, and masterworks. That's the only thing that it can do. The other thing that I do enjoy about this is the 14 zoom on it. Shayura's has 15 zoom, and while yes, you can put a mod on to lower the zoom of Shayura's, you can use your mod on something else when you're using Noxious, so I would recommend if you like 14 zoom, Noxious is gonna feel better. Also, the fact that it doesn't have the reactive reticle like Shayura's does. Bungie was like, hey, we're trying out this new thing, and then they never did anything with it. They also never reverted Shayura's back, and I honestly, it's just distracting to me to see the reticle moving like that. I much more like just the red dot, and Noxious is a reskin of Pillager, which is a great weapon model. It's got a great sight, so I really enjoy it for that reason. It feels good, but statistically, it's bad. Perk-wise, it's bad. It has, in the first column, heating up, which, yes, can grant you a good bit of stability, but that's about it. Or you can go to the pain, which is going to grant you some handling and some aim assist, which, of course, it's a precision frame, so it has pretty low handling. So not necessarily a bad thing to add handling, but the thing that always kills to the pain for me is you can't swap off of the weapon if it consumed a stack, kind of like how shot swap consumes a stack. I think I would like that much more, like taking damage, and then whenever you swap, it's going to consume a stack. And when you switch back to it, instead of it having 10 stacks, it's just going to have 9. I think that'd be a great thing to do to it moving forward. But I want to talk about the TTK. So these weapons have gotten nerfs, and it sits at a 0.8 TTK. That's 8 head, 1 body. And then when you equip target lock, it goes to 7 head, 2 body, or a 0.7 second TTK for 5 resilience or lower guardians with 8 crits. So can be good there, not really the best. Desperate Measures would be your best choice. You get Desperate Measures times 1, which is just a single kill, and it's going to take your TTK to a 0.7, which is going to be 8 crits, so already doing exactly what Target Lock can do to only 5 Resilience Guardians with just 1 kill. And if you can manage to get like a melee or a grenade kill, it's going to take your TTK to a 0.7 at 6 crit, 2 body, or a 0.6 on 7 resilience or lower guardians with 7 crits. And its TTK does get to a 0.6 with 7 crits with 3 stacks of Desperate Measures, and it's going to be a 6 crit, 1 body for 9 to 2 Resilience Guardians, and then 1 and 0 Resilience Guardians will be 5 crit, 2 body, so you're never going to ever see that, because who runs just 1 resilience? And that's pretty much it for this weapon. It also has access to Rampage, which honestly, that 3% damage on that final stack does change who you're gonna 5 crit 2 body. It does take it to tier 6 and lower resilience guardians, so there is a tiny bit of a difference there, and 2 stacks of Desperate Measures is going to kill tier 10 to 8 in 6 crit 2 bodies, and then 7 crits for tier 7. Rampage is going to be tier 10 to 9, 6 crit 2 body, and then tier 8 will be 7 crits. You know, it's a little better, but that time difference, that additional time that you get with Desperate Measures really feels just better to me personally. I would rather have that time over that consistency, just because when I have Kill Clip and when I have Rampage, I like to like jump into a fight way too fast and then get myself killed by doing something dumb. So Desperate Measures, if you're not a crazy fragger, I mean, if you are a crazy fragger, go for Rampage, go for it, have fun, have a blast. And finally, I want to talk about Frenzy, because that does give you max handling, and it does give you a damage boost, and it does take your TTK to a 0.7 if you can stay in combat for 12 seconds. And finally, Target Lock. It's going to change your TTK for 5 and low resilience Guardians to a 0.7. That's 8 crits. You're not going to see that a whole lot. Maybe some Hunters, the occasional Warlock. You're never going to kill a Titan like that, so that's not really worth it. You also think about Overshields. You're also never killing a Titan with that. And then, so we're going to look at the tier 10 to tier 7. That's where the Titans are going to be sitting at. It's going to be 7 crit, 2 body, which is going to be a difference of 1 crit. So normally it's 8 crit, 1 body. Target Lock, 7 crit, 2 body. Again, not the greatest thing. This weapon just doesn't have good damage perks. If it had Kill Clip, if it had Keep Away, if it had Kill and Wind, if it had just Dynamic Sway, tap the trigger, something, I would be here for it. But there's really nothing here that's wowing me, nothing here that I like. So the weapon feels good, looks good, it's a great model, it's the Pillager model. I like it, I like using it. The only thing is the weapon's perks just aren't great, and we're also not in a meta for SMGs. It's a 0.8 TTK, and you know, hand cannons, 120's just got a buff. They can 2-head 1 body, any resilience from way further away than an SMG is hitting, and that's a 1 second TTK. So, like, you're not really getting close to someone with this weapon. But we're in a meta where there's a lot of good archetypes for Crucible. So, high impact pulses, auto rifles, 120s, 140s, all good. But it's very specific weapons in those archetypes that are doing good. It's not the entire archetype. I'm not using No Time to Explain because it's not as good as Elsie's rifle. I'm not using Messenger because it's not as good as Elsie's rifle. Sure, it's good, just not as good. Anyways, that's kind of my rant on the Crucible. I just find this thing that it becomes hard to use because it doesn't have the greatest stats. It doesn't have the greatest perks. And we're not in a meta for precision frame SMGs or SMGs really at all. And if I was going to use an SMG, I would just use something that has better perks overall. It's a shame because this is a great weapon model and I really, really want to like this. But unfortunately, I just can't recommend it with it having low stats and bad perks, and it's not meta right now. And with that being said, I think the god roll I would settle on would be heating up Desperate Measures or heating up Target Lock. If To the Pain gets a buff to where it's like Shot Swap, I would recommend that. But right now, losing all those stacks when you swap, not really worth it to me. And for PvE, I honestly just won't recommend this because I tried to use Jolting Feedback with Unrelenting to see if, you know, if I dump my mag into a champion, maybe the Jolt killing a shit ad will heal me with Unrelenting. It doesn't. It doesn't. So this weapon's unfortunately just a skip for me. And maybe an argument could be made for Attrition Orb's Jolting Feedback if it worked, but at that point, just use the multi-mock that you can get for free from Banshee right now. And yeah, this weapon's just a hard skip for me. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy, be sure to hit that like button, consider subscribing, and click notifications so you know if I would make new videos, because putting out some videos this week. Hopefully you enjoy. See you guys in the next one. Roll the outro.